Hello, everyone, and a big namaste and a warm hug to you all. Well, now I am in my second phase where I want to reach out to everyone across the globe. I am sure with our self quarantine and isolation, we have discovered many facets of our personality, which are actually helping us to gain mastery over our lives. The message of the planetary configuration informs us that the disruption of our world paradigm and the birthing of a new is at hand. Participating as if things are going to continue in the same way will actually result in wasted efforts, and worse yet, will leave us evolving lives based on infrastructures that may no longer exist in the near future. Now, the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. I hope you've done your homework by connecting with your birth chart in order to know how Jupiter affects you and your whole life. Find out how the mighty Jupiter, the planet of wealth, fortune, finances, and wisdom, affects your life. You need to learn from your insecurity. In short, Jupiter represents our expansive qualities and our abilities to improve ourselves. It's a planet of plenty and seeks insight through knowledge. It's a planet of possibility. A well aspect Jupiter is normally associated with good luck, and in more negative associations with blind optimism, excess, and overindulgence. Now, when I talk about negative associations, I basically mean that if a planet is debilitated, or like they say, is weak, it's basically that the native is not aware of the strong potentials. So once you are made aware of what the Jupiter does in the first house, you can actually transform yourself. In your natal chart, the placement of Jupiter reveals how you express your sense of giving and tolerance and how you go out improving your life. I am sure you found out about your placements and are all ears to what I'm going to share with you. You needed to realize which zodiac sign your natal Jupiter is posited and the house it impacts, for example, the first or the second house or the third or fourth, etc. Now, with this conjunct, that is Jupiter in conjunct Pluto, which is on the 4th of April, is going to be at its peak, whereas the impact you had started feeling 15 days earlier and goes on till 20-25 days later. Which means this entire month of April, the universe gives you a chance to take hold of yourself. Your overly self-secure mode of interacting disguises some deep trust of your own foundations. Behind your flamboyance and manipulative assertions are profound insecurities. When you come to terms with your weaknesses and see them as not so profound or bad, you will simultaneously become more open and acknowledging of other people's values and points of view. Now, this lays the foundation to use your vast insight and expanse of vision in a very, very positive manner. The effects of Neptune and Pluto are felt over longer periods, which I would be explaining in the following videos that are following after this. But meanwhile, we are talking about Jupiter. And while Jupiter transit effects are felt in intervals, whenever it transits over your chart, it is like an oscillation. You will feel, and then you may utilize it to transform yourself. If you haven't, again, that feeling will come in very strong. The transformation is required. Basically, the role of Jupiter is expansion, and how you hone your skills is your prerogative. Your attitude can become your altitude. Situations that encourage expressions of power may emerge during this time, and you may find yourself engaged in significant struggles that consume you. You tend to emerge victorious, especially if you know what you want without equivocation. Those problems that are firmly rooted, however, may intensify, forcing you to deal with them. the opportunity exists not only to face ingrained issues, but also to alter them for the better, perhaps even to eliminate them altogether. This is a cycle where you can initiate changes that have an enduring effect. You may have experiences that leave an indelible impression upon you and serve as a catalyst for taking steps, even extreme measures, to transform what has outlived its usefulness. You can grow exceptionally stronger by planting the right seeds now. This is the time where the environment is conducive for increasing the force of your character. You may encounter a commanding presence as well as demanding conditions that assist you to manifest and to expand your influence. Whatever you feel compelled about, you may increase in its appeal so that you may fulfill some of your deepest desires. Tremendous success is possible, especially if you have a passion for whatever you pursue or do, since this cycle tends to augment the motivating forces of your life. As much as constructive action is an indicator of this time, it is possible that there is a need to tear down what is established. Sometimes to go forward unencumbered requires that you purge whatever is a hindrance to your development. In order to advance, you may have to clear away all that is inessential, so declutter. On a practical level, you will do very well to remodel, retool, or revamp existing structures or systems. Monetary rewards can come now, or steps that you take can ensure future profits through comprehensive financial planning. You tend to recognize the need for long-term goals, no matter what your interest, and you can map effective strategies. Generally, this is a favorable period in your life, although its dynamism can contain forces that occasionally are more than you can control. Extremes in the world around you and in your life can become exaggerated. It is important to have your priorities straight in order to take advantage of the boost that this period can bring. You have an opportunity to understand the heights and the depths that define existence as witnessed from experience rather than from a distance. So don't just be a spectator, transform. Reminding you all again that Jupiter conjunct Pluto is a major alignment which occurs every 13 years. In your natal chart, Jupiter conjunct or aspecting Pluto is a serious calculation. Jupiter and Pluto give an incredibly strong need to make it big in the world. Their combination gives out your intensity level as to how much you may want power and influence and make ambitious plans to succeed at the highest levels. How much of the intense drive and ambition you have to make you determined, persistent, and sometimes ruthless. How much of the setbacks or failures discourage you or affect you. To what degree you see opportunity in every challenge and use this experience to perfect your skills and change yourself accordingly. To what extent you can understand that continual growth and adaptation is your path to personal mastery and prosperity. The placements of Jupiter and Pluto help you understand your luck factor, and it also forewarns you of how you should not take your good fortune for granted. What percentage of generosity is required for others? It also reminds you that needs can always be fulfilled, but never your greed. It presages you of your limitations and lets you know the importance of acting morally and ethically so that you don't deviate and let your power and success go to your head. Now, this aspect has the potential to make you very powerful very quickly before you have the wisdom and humility to use it safely. Wide knowledge and spiritual developments are needed before you amass power and wealth. Never think you're too smart to learn from your teachers. Before you can wield power, you must submit to it. It's okay to be driven, but be mindful of becoming obsessed, fanatical, or self righteous. You have the good fortune and power to make a big difference in the world and affect many people henceforth. You will be richer in every way if you make friends along the way instead of making enemies. Now, during this conjunct of Jupiter and Pluto transit, you need to be more focused and driven if you want to succeed at what you're most passionate about. A mix of intense effort and good luck gives you the power and influence to make a big difference in your life. The result of this transit depends on the goals you make, so it is important to think about what you want to do during this during this prosperous phase of life. Your business success, wealth, travel, work towards achievement, or promotion at work, or a better career are just some of the possibilities that you can work upon and execute it. It is also important to consider spiritual self development because power and success could easily go to your head. Selfishness, greed, jealousy, revenge should definitely not be your motivation. Instead, you should want to succeed, so improve your life without harming others. Your generosity will be repaid, and you could make new and influential friends. Now, if you act in a ruthless, extreme, self righteous, or obsessive way, you are likely to face powerful force, and ethically, you will grow spiritually and materially. This should be a time of large scale achievement and success that will make you happy and content well into the future. Now, before I start talking about the effect of Jupiter in various houses, get your pen and paper ready. Meanwhile, let me see if you have any questions for me. Well, it talks about Jupiter in second house. What does it denote? Please tell Jupiter in the second house. Okay. Jupiter in the eighth house. Please elaborate. Then we've written about the house where retrogrades. Can you give a big minute, 1 minute on this? Of course, I'm going to give you all my time and I will be answering your questions. Meanwhile, the questions that you all have asked me or are trickling in, they're asking about the Jupiter in various houses. So stay tuned because I am telling you now how the Jupiter behaves in the various houses. So if you're ready with this, that your Jupiter house, if you're aware which house your Jupiter in is, just hold on. Now, here, when Jupiter is in the first house or ascendant is mainly concerned with the native's outer appearance, health, and how in general they want to appear to the world. So do introspection now and see that how would you like to appear to the world once the lockdown is over. It's the most important part in your chart, as it defines in which house the rest of the signs and the planets will be located and how they look up to you. Now, Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Its placement in this house increases natives' inclination towards traveling, reading, and basically exploring. Education should be a serious part of your life. You can inspire people with your ability to stand out in the crowd because of your knowledge and wisdom. Hence, this effect of Jupiter should definitely be used to the fullest to become an independent and self-reliant person. I hope you all are understanding, and I'm sure if you listen carefully, you will be able to navigate your... Since Jupiter is the planet of higher learnings, you need to become a self-reliant person, be a motivator and a role model for others. You should be interested in religions and spirituality, and your keen interest in these subjects will also help your intuitions. Now, Jupiter in the second house, for those of you who have asked me questions on the side that they need to know about Jupiter in the second house, just pay heed. The second house concerns the positions and wealth of the native. The native was probably born in a rather comfortable family and from a very young age accustomed to a life without financial troubles, or at least his needs were met. His or her needs were met. Although any fluctuations are natural in everyone's life, this position assures the native lifetime financial security. So overcome your fears. Don't feel insecure. Now, Jupiter in the second house also signifies that the native can become a highly influential person in society. This position enables you authoritative and leadership qualities. Blessed with a beautiful, sweet voice, and you have prominent chances of making it into a career and becoming a renowned singer. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So if you're negative, now, when they say that when Jupiter is afflicted or Jupiter is weak, it basically means that you're unaware of these potentials. So become aware of these potentials of Jupiter in the second house. You don't have to become negative or arrogant or take your family comfort for granted, for you may turn into a spendthrift. But it also gives you opportunity to regain the financial condition. How you utilize your ability is your effort. Now, Jupiter in the third house. The third house mostly associates with communication and self-expression. So traveling can be a major theme. So you can mix business with pleasure. This house also represents siblings, relatives, and your neighbors. This position indicates that your keen interest in gaining all sorts of knowledge by visiting different places can be beneficial. You love to explore, and your love for exploration, you can evolve intellectually, which can prove to be productive in your professional life. Maintain good relationships with relatives and neighbors because that will be an added bonus for you. Strong Jupiter in the third house, it means that if you are aware, it indicates having a good command over communication, and you are most likely to involve yourself in professions like writing, publishing, media, journalism, broadcasting, railways, tourism, and so on and so forth, where people's skills are required. This position also enhances natives' mental capabilities, which provide you with strong intuitive skill. Jupiter expands one's mental strength, so grasping information can quickly become an asset. Now, Jupiter in your fourth house. Well, the fourth house is the house of mother, motherly love, nourishment, happiness, basic education, and domestic peace. It represents family, your home, and childhood. It also describes the inherited properties like land or vehicle, etc., as an inheritance from your parents or from your mother or father. Now, placement of Jupiter in the fourth house, the native can maintain good relationships and should keep learning from childhood. That will come in handy. The realization of the parents' good ethics and values should always be remembered. You will most likely to flourish at your native place, and you should not endeavor to go far away from your parents or your place of birth or your domicile, as they say, for you will be receiving the maximum benefits of Jupiter nearer home. Now, native with this placement of Jupiter in the fourth house, if you do your investments in immovable properties, then the prosperity is secure. I myself, in turn, as I'm seeing your messages, I'm feeling warm and I'm feeling happy inside my heart that at least I am going to be of some use to you all. And my winnings or my happiness would be if you can just transform after knowing what is it that requires transformation in your life. Now, coming for those who have written my Jupiter is in the fifth house, I'm happy that you guys have done your homework very, very well. And you all know exactly where your Jupiter is. So that makes me much happier and it takes off all my nerves because I really want you all to understand that this is a period of transformation and you can do it. So your Jupiter in the fifth house. Now the fifth house has connection with what the natives' understanding of good time is. How they like to express themselves creatively. Hobby can become a full-fledged career. It is also concerned with progeny, ingenuity, and your love affairs with anything personal or professional. Now, by love affair means what you're passionate about in your personal or professional life. In addition to that, it can also indicate the wealth of your father. Jupiter itself is the planet of expansion, and luck brings about good fortune into the life of the native. They are likely to achieve heights in the careers they choose. Irrespective of whatever you're facing during this time, if you adhere that where your Jupiter is, start planning your life accordingly. And trust me, soon the period comes when you are on your way back to success on the correct path after this deconstruction. This placement provides the native with great creative knowledge, a proclivity for philosophy and religions. You can actually express yourself through creativity, entertainment, arts, educations, or get involved with activities for or with children. It also indicates many love affairs, and that the native enjoys getting involved with people who give them a great time. Hence, intimate relationships are usually based on the amount of fun that could be exchanged. You have to remember that discretion is the better part of valor. So, mind and mingle only if you are single. Having multiple relationships, a strict no. This is the transformation that you need to balance in your life. Now, Jupiter in the sixth house. Someone's asked for the seventh house also. I am coming to that. Just hold on with me. Now, Jupiter in sixth house says this house relates to deaths, obstacles, difficulties, enemies, and your ability to overcome it. It also shows the kind of service that you can provide to society. Moreover, it represents the people who work under you. Now, Lord of the sixth house is Mercury, and Jupiter is not considered to have a friendly bond with Mercury. Hence, this is not regarded as a favorable placement for the native. However, the planet of luck definitely brings great chances of earning good money through your dedicated hard work. Now, since Jupiter is a benefic planet, it provides the native with great vitality and robust health. In case Jupiter is afflicted, native does not get along well with his co-workers in whatever work they do. It may prove to be an unpleasant situation in such matters. However, since now I've told you and you have to see whether the Jupiter is affected in your natal chart, take this warning. So think before you speak and hone your communication skills. This is the transformation that you need to make in yourself now. You could be involved in humanitarian services and will also be involved in healing activities, be it the medical field or spiritual field or even the healing, any kind of healing professions will do you good. For those of you that I'm reading the questions who have missed their house, not to worry, you can replay my video and get to your own house. Meanwhile, for those whose Jupiter is in the seventh house. Seventh house is the house of all sorts of partnerships and legal bondage. It includes both business partnerships and marriages. This house represents partnerships and whether they're likely to be successful in business or your personal life. Now, with Jupiter in this house, the native sure gets lucky in partnership related matters and are blessed. Understand, you are blessed to attract the correct kind of partner. This placement provides good wealth, accumulating opportunities through matrimony and partnerships. The native is bound to attract like-minded people who they could share their religious, philosophical views in order to empower them and increase their growth opportunities. If Jupiter is afflicted, the partner could face issues regarding obesity and most likely to be lethargic and arrogant. So please pull your socks up. You need to work on your exercises. Jupiter in the 7th house of horoscope makes native intelligent and successful. You will be an eloquent speaker and will get benefits from foreign lands, even in foreign lands. Now, Jupiter in the 8th house. Somebody's asked me, excuse me for 1 minute, somebody's asked me, is it going to be a little difficult on financial matters? Well, my answer is don't worry whether it's going to be difficult or not. You must have the trust in your own intelligence. See where your Jupiter is placed. If it is badly affected, just improvise on your things and your finances will be on track because Jupiter promises expansion in whichever way you think or whichever way you put your hard work in. So the 8th house now is mostly concerned with hidden matters like taxes and insurance, sudden events, longevity and death. Now, when I talk about death, it's like metamorphic. If you're not going to keep your health correct, obviously then your immunity system goes weak. But you could also put a closure to one aspect of your life and become the person you want to be. It is also known as the house of joint resources. It's about the deals regarding the inherited money and property. Planet Jupiter being the house of fortunes shows good luck in the above stated subjects. In most of the cases of afflicted or weak Jupiter, the native has extreme sexual temptation, which might end up in extra sexual affairs. Now, if Jupiter is badly aspected, it might even turn into an obsession if one is not careful. Now, if you know that this is the part that you are suffering, it's very important for you to understand that and try to transform yourself, because I'm sure nobody likes to have an obsession, because obsession can be painful. So your interest in professions that involve finance related matters like tax, accounting, insurance, or occupations, or things to do with death like providing funeral services, etc., will benefit you in earning your money. Now, the natives are most likely to get benefits from joint resources and other matters ruled by this house. Like other people's money and inheritance also come to them by the virtue of partnerships. This placement gives the native high intuition and psychic abilities. It blesses them with a great understanding of the occult and mystical subjects. Now, Jupiter in the 9th house, the house of travel, spirituality, and higher learnings. It's related to long distance travel like a pilgrimage or foreign trips and the philosophical and geographical knowledge obtained during your travels. Now, presence of Jupiter in the 9th house depicts that the native would base their entire life on their religious and philosophical beliefs or learnings. They love to travel and stand great chance of foreign trips or abroad settlement. They have a thing for learning even if Jupiter is afflicted. They want to explore more and more. However, they may not have many opportunities to do it. You need to be aware of your limitations and work around your limitations. You will learn more by focusing on main areas rather than getting into the details. If you prefer studying on your own, on the things that interest you, things like spirituality, travel, and philosophy, you could actually develop it into a profession. You will remain a student and a learner all your life. You're likely to taste success quite early in life, which continues throughout your life. My friends, I'm seeing a lot of questions being asked about conjunctions and Mercury and Sun all in different nakshatras, or people are asking about the spiritual growth. My earnest plea here is please adhere one thing at a time. Once you realize where your Jupiter is, and in my next video, when I tell you what is the Pluto imploring you to do, if you can put and if you can imply all these things into your own life step by step, the other things will definitely take care of its own. So don't get into the details. Let's take baby steps, know where your Jupiter is, and work in accordance with it. You will definitely benefit. Now, in Jupiter, for those people whose Jupiter is in the 10th house, this house is concerned with the career, profession, reputation, political concerns, life ambitions, and the overall public image that you desire. Jupiter's presence shows that the native will achieve his desired success and wealth and also fame in his career in most of the cases. Later in their life, as a lot of obstacles and delays will come your way, be prepared never to lose confidence in your abilities. Good for you to get involved in professions related to education, spirituality, or travels. You will then be recognized for what you do and feel. This position also represents that the father would be a positive, influential figure in the native's lives and contributes a lot to what this person is today. Native loves to expand his cognition and be the most knowledgeable person in the sphere. In order to do that, you need to study and research a lot. So Jupiter in your 11th house. The 11th house is a strong indicator of incomes and gains, of prosperity and sudden profits. It represents the native social sphere. This house also rules over one's interests, hopes, and wishes. Placement of Jupiter in the 11th house proves to be beneficial in the matters of friendship. These people get bright and loyal friends who help the native to expand their mind spiritually and intellectually. You can achieve good results in group activities and you can form quick connections with people who are of higher understanding, sensible, and possibly of a different country. Through your hard work, you can enjoy remarkable achievements in life, mostly because of the physical and psychological assistance from your allies who tend to enjoy influential positions in society. When you are unaware of your potentials because of debilitated Jupiter, you may spend your time in futile socializing, thus neglect your work and studies. Now, here, if you pay attention of what is required for you to do, you will actually start creating your own prophecies. Now, when I'm seeing the questions here, I see that one needs, there is a person who says, my ascendant and sun is Aquarius, and I have Jupiter conjunction Venus in second house in Pisces. And of course, it is a question that you're asking, but this question can automatically be answered if you just at this particular moment concentrate on your Jupiter and how you can navigate your life. Because I do not believe in predictions. I believe life is what you make it. Your attitude is your altitude. Understanding what the Jupiter is asking you to do and applying it to your life can actually help you focus on your needs and focus on making you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Last but not the least, Jupiter in 12th house. The 12th house deals with mysterious things, things hidden behind the curtain, solitude, subconscious mind, isolated places, one fears and insecurities. The presence of Jupiter induces you to take great interest in spirituality, occultism, and mysticism. You could be practicing such spiritual ways like meditation or prayer in order to attain your relief. Make it a constructive use rather than an escapism. Confront your fears. Do not work in isolation. Be of use in places like hospitals, jails, rehabs, etc. Because your love to help people in defending their troubles will give you a lot of confidence and contentment and peace. In case you're not aware of what Jupiter can do to you, you might be become too delusional and tend to create your own fantasy world in order to save yourself from the harsh reality. So face the reality, because Jupiter is actually very good to you, and you must imply what it does or what it says that you can do if it is placed in your 12th house. Do not try to detach yourself from the materialistic aspects of life and be more inclined towards spirituality and religious beliefs. Try leading a balanced life. When we want our life to be successful, when we want it to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, you actually need to work for it and also enjoy its benefits. Now, the analysis that I have given offers just a little portion of the whole picture. To know more, you also need to see the positions of other planets in your horoscope. There's somebody who just sent me a question which says, clear my doubt by elaborating, does Jupiter in Scorpio 8th house affect your love life? Please listen to what I've said about the 8th house, and that probably would answer your question. And for those who've missed listening to the houses, just go back. Like, what if Jupiter is Mrit or dead in 3rd house in Aquarius? Nothing is dead or alive. These planets are not dead or alive. The planets just ask that this is the kind of attitude that you should keep when your Jupiter is placed in a particular house. The debilitated or the weak actually means you're not aware of what it can do to you. The awareness, or the forewarned is being forearmed. So the awareness of this can actually help you transform your life. So each planet has a distinct impact on you depending on which house and sign they reside in. So as to seek out where they are located in your natal chart, you can use a website and get your natal charts made, know your destiny and talents, the period you're undergoing, so as to charter your life and navigate your way happily, transforming yourself. It's very important to know what are the planets implying to you per se, so that you can transform. If you're not aware of certain planets because you've been told they're weak or debilitated, so you cannot take their maximum benefit, well, the thing here is, once you come to know what they can do to you, you can again transform yourself. Now, today there was a very interesting thing that happened. Our Prime Minister of India, Modi ji's speech is actually based on numerology. And the Sunday lighting event is also based on numerology. He gave his speech, he chose to give his speech at 9 a.m. for 9 minutes, which is the 9th day of Corona. And the event, what he's asked us to do about lighting is on the 5th of April, which means 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. And he's asked her to do this on 9 p.m. for 9 minutes. And 9 is the number of Mars. So the light and fire is equal to Mars. In fact, a prime minister who believes strongly in astrology and how you can utilize it to activate the energies in your life. In fact, by this lighting at a particular time, he's activating the energy of the planet Mars. He smartly chose 5th April 9 p.m. because on this day and time for 9 minutes, the Saturn is going to be in the Swati Nakshatra and the moon will be in the Rohini Nakshatra. Lighting natural lights will allow the cosmic waves to enter our bodies and create the antibodies for corona. These cosmic waves wake up the sleeping neutrons in our body, which are neutral. This helps our body to create neutral antibodies, which can neutralize the negatively charged coronavirus and make our thoughts and actions more positive and resilient to fight against it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you can get the notifications well in time to connect with me for the rest of the days. I am planning to go live explaining to you how the planet actually can help you transform yourself, because this is a period of great transformation through your own awareness. Next, I am going to connect with you the same time on the 6th of April, bringing you the messages from Pluto. So do your homework and know where was your Pluto placed in your natal chart. Good luck for now. Stay safe, stay healthy, be wise, and learn to be an architect of your own life and lead the life the way you want to. You can do it. So can I. So can everyone. Namaste for now. Till we meet next.